What's up, guys? So recently I have been making a conscious effort to really listen and be aware of what are the thoughts that I'm having on a daily basis. And I quickly learned that thoughts are literally just a series of questions that we ask ourselves about everything. Questioning the past, our memories. How did this serve us? Did this help form the person I am today? Was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? We question our future decisions. Is this going to help me in the future? Should I be changing this? Should I stay still? Should I move forward? We question what people think about us. Was I too loud? Did they like me? Was I dressed nice? What do they think about me? Worst of all, we start to question ourselves. The conversation that we're having with ourselves are just a series of questions that we're trying to find out if they're positive, if they're negative. Should I take this step or should I not? Even as I was creating this video, I noticed and I became aware of the questions that I was asking myself. What is the message that I want to portray? What are the examples that I think that people will relate to the most? And just like everything, there are positive parts and there are negative parts. So in this case, we have good thoughts versus bad thoughts. And the good questions that we have help empower us, help us to believe in ourselves so that we can make the moves that we need to make to get to the next level. But on the flip side, the bad questions limit us, keep us stuck, keep us small, keep us exactly where we don't want to be, in a toxic relationship or in a job that we don't like, because just can't help but spiral into these negative thoughts. The reason why we concentrate and focus more on the bad questions is because the facts of our brain are our memories, are our experiences. So if you want to try something new, if you want to quit your job, your thought process, the questions that you ask yourself are automatically going to shift and be negative because your brain doesn't have any memory, any recollection that you've done this before. Your brain is going to start to produce negative questions. How are you going to pay your bills? Are you sure this is the right move? What are people going to think? What are you going to do if it doesn't work? So in this video, I want to talk about how we can redirect from those limited thoughts, bad questions that we're asking ourselves, and start to ask ourselves good questions that are going to actually help us. It doesn't matter what questions, negative or positive, that we ask ourselves while we're having a thought or talking to ourselves, but our brain is always going to produce an answer, whether it's correct or it could be a lie. Again, it is in survival mode. That's how you have been able to survive for this long. Our brain is millions of billions of years old. So now we want to have a leap in conscious. We don't want to be in survival mode anymore, because survival mode doesn't always mean happiness. Because it is 2023 and not 1875, it's like there are so many more things to experience that we cannot live in those bad questions, in those bad thoughts. Like, we need to get out of that. If we don't, you already know one negative thought, one negative question can spiral you down and keep you stuck for years. I know for me, I have been stuck in relationships in my 20s that were toxic, were not good. I wasn't happy in them, but it was because I was focusing on the negative questions. I would ask myself, why is this happening to me? Why is my partner treating me like this? And after so many negative questions, like I said, your brain will produce answers. It might not be the right answer, but it will produce answers which become assumptions. I started assuming that I wasn't worthy of a good relationship, that it was because I wasn't a good enough woman, that my relationship was toxic. My partner didn't love me because I didn't love myself, or I was not pretty enough, or whatever. All the lies, the stories that we have told ourselves. I'm tired of it. I stayed at a job that I didn't hate, but I didn't love it because I was scared. I was in survival mode. I focused on the negative thoughts, the negative questions. How am I going to pay my bills? What are people going to think of me if I quit my job? If I do what I really, really love to do, will I survive, And although these are valid questions, but in order to create the life that we want, direct our focus to the positive questions. And talk a lot about this on my Instagram is instead of asking why, ask why not, And I feel like we don't ask ourselves why not enough. Why not me? Why can't I do it? I've done so many other things just because I've never tried this before because I'm afraid of the unknown. Fuck that. I don't care anymore. I want to be intentional and actually do the things that I want to do the things that are going to help me be financially free, to be that boss babe that I know now that I can be. If you hate your life right now, you need to, number one, literally sit down with yourself and just let your mind go free, but listen. Pay attention to what you are questioning yourself. And if it is all negative, understand that your brain is on survival mode. It's not your fault. It's not your brain's fault. That's evolution, right? And if we do want to have that leap of conscious to take us to the next level, you need to control your mind. And if you're having a negative thought, think the opposite. Stop yourself. Just stop yourself and be like, okay, I've been wanting this for the past 5 years. I haven't done it because I'm worried about my bill. I'm worried about what people are going to think about me. Fuck it. Just ask yourself the opposite. What if I actually do make it? What if I am actually happy in my new business and I start to make more money than my current job? Blow up on YouTube. Who knows? I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to take more than a month, 6 months, maybe, I don't know. But in my experience, it took more than just a few days of practicing this, It took me almost 2 years to quit my job because I was on my journey. And every time I had a negative thought, I just flipped it to the positive. One day I woke up and I didn't have negative thoughts anymore. The questions that I would have within myself were not always, digging myself in a hole. They were, fuck it, girl, what if you actually make it? I started thinking outside of my little box and I started thinking, what if you actually be happy in your life and do the things you want to do? And it's going to happen with you too. If you practice this every day, it will change your life. It's not only going to change your life in one aspect, it's going to change it in every aspect because your perception is going to change. Now you have to retrain your mind. We're not cave people anymore. We're not in the 1800s. We're not, the past generation. We are the new generation. And in order for us to break generational curses, bring wealth and create wealth for our family, and fuck all that, in order for us to be happy, we must train our brain, our thoughts. We must train them like an animal to think positively and to focus on the positive. Because I don't know about you, I'm going to be 31 this year. And for the last 29 years, I was focused on the negative questions that I had, and I was not happy. I did not love myself. I had dreamed of having a YouTube since I was like 18 years old, but my questions, my self-doubt, my limited thought process question did not allow me to. When I turned 29, I started training myself and not asking why, but asking why not. And in 2 years, in only 2 years, I quit my job. I started to love myself. I found an amazing relationship where we work together, where we support each other, where we empower each other. Most importantly, I started to love myself. I couldn't look in the mirror before because, the thoughts I would have about myself were, you're so ugly. Who's gonna love you? Why do you even post on Instagram? What's the point of even trying? I really have been loving myself. It has took a lot of practice, but I promise that you can do it too. It just doesn't make sense to stay stuck in unhappiness. Our life is so limited that we don't know when our time is. And not to be all negative and like speak about death and shit, I live every day not as if it was my last, because I'm not trying to put that out there, but I literally live my life and ask myself every every day, why not? When people ask me like, hey, have you ever tried this? I'm like, no, but why not? You know, even my friends, when I go out to dinner and they tell me like, oh, I wish I could do this, or like, I wish I could quit my job. I wish I could start a new hobby. Very simple. I just ask them, why not? Why not you? Who has told you that you are not enough? Stop looking around you and comparing yourself to other people. Sit down with yourself. Listen to your thoughts. If they are more negative than positive, which they probably will be, again, because that's how we were trained, fix that. It's crazy because our thought process is truly the compass of our life. Like, whatever we think up here is what our actions show, you know? Like, if you see someone who's not so confident, you can only imagine what they're struggling with or thinking about or questioning within themselves. I urge you, if you are at that place in your life where you're just depressed and you hate yourself and you cannot find the positive in anything, just take a piece of paper and write down all your thoughts. And then after you write down all your thoughts, ask yourself, does this thought empower me or does it keep me limited? You have to be able to make it so black and white that you yourself will think you're so dumb when you choose the negative thought. I even told myself, like, if you choose to be negative and focus on the negative questions and the negative thoughts that you're having, it's only your fault. You're the only one to blame because you now know better, but you're choosing not to do better. So you must not really want to change. What starts to happen is you start to catch those negative thoughts faster. And instead of you swimming in the negative thoughts and one leads to the second, to the third, to the fourth, then it's like a month of just negative thoughts, and now you don't do your makeup and you don't fix yourself because what's the point? Instead of letting that happen, now as I practice it every single day, I start to catch the negative thought. Like by the third negative thought, I had already caught myself and I'm like, whoa, sis, remember those 29 years that you were ugly, that you didn't love yourself, that you hated your day-to-day? We could do that again. Or we can train our mind to see the positive. Even in the worst thing, my father passed away last August. I did not talk to him prior to that for like 5 years. But instead of me grieving him and not being able to see the positive and just focus on why didn't we have enough time? Why was I angry with him? Why didn't I just call him? Why didn't I put my pride to the side? Instead of me dwelling in those negative questions, now what I start to think about is like, wow, I don't know why the universe or God kept us away for so long, but I am so happy that he got to see the new version of me. Instead of me thinking about all the time we wasted, I think about that last month that we had together, and I am so grateful that I was in the right mindset to be able to share those last moments with him. I don't say I have to, like, I have to go to work tomorrow, or I have to do the laundry. I say I get to. So just those word choices help me retrain my mind and say, this is not a chore, it's a privilege, you know? And truth of the matter is, we do live in America. We don't come from a third world country. We are privileged. If you do need help finding things that you are grateful for, just go online and Google third world countries. You can quickly find gratitude in your everyday life. So I urge you to focus on the positive questions. I hope this video has helped shed light into where you want your mind to go and where you don't want to be anymore, and know that you are not alone. We are all struggling with our mind. I am here for you guys. I'm learning every day as well. Please subscribe to this channel if you are not yet part of the family. I will be back for more because my journey is not ending anytime soon. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Remember, don't ask why, sis. Ask why not.